Yo, guys, how we doing? Here we are. How's it going? Let me know if you can hear me okay. I've got this up on X and I've got it up on YouTube. So hopefully the chat is sorted. If you're around for my other live streams, I still can't get this chat widget sorted, which is quite frustrating. But tonight I have a guest, which is Sailorman Crypto, Popeye, who I'm really excited to talk with because he's someone I've been seeing on the timeline a lot and making a lot of transparent trades, good mostly, which is really good to see. Also, very strong work ethic in what he's doing. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit tonight. And just excited to meet new traders. So basically, for anyone who's new to this, I set this series up every week to do a stream with some new traders that I haven't spoken to before. Mostly to understand where they come from and their lifestyle and their background, and look into more of the trader lifestyle and mindset approach to trading rather than just like the technical side of it. And I know Popeye is a big proponent of that, so I'm looking forward to this chat. So I'm going to unmute you now, bro, and bring you in. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Hey, Matt. Thank you for having me. Really honored.
Cool. So I think we're going to just dive straight into it. So what we're going to do is basically I'm going to get this to share your screen, and I want to know essentially how you trade and how you're looking at the market. I know you look at price action and stuff, but yeah, this is going to be the first chapter, is just to teach me your trading style, and I'm going to move it onto your screen now and yeah, let it take you away. So whether you're basically looking at whatever charts and your method and any trades you want to show, but yeah, like how you look at the market from opening the chart to executing a trade, what you're looking at and how you do it basically.
Yeah, not sure they can see my chart, but
yeah,
let's say I consider myself a super retarded trader, so I use I believe, a very retarded system. And usually when I open a chart, it looks like this. I mean, it's just a naked chart, and I try to grasp what the pure price action is telling me. I don't use too much fancy stuff. I really try to stick to the basic, and I try to always to get a story from the price action. So I use technicals, but always try to give some logic, some storytelling behind what the price is doing. Luckily enough, I did this flow chart today for one of my educational posts. I do a lot of the educational content. So more or less, these are the 7 steps I usually try to cover, let's say, when I have to judge a chart and then to decide if I have to take a trade. The very first concept I use is the market phase. Then we can speak about week off, we can speak about many other things, but really I try to use things not in a dogmatic approach, really just to have a grasp of what is going. So are we in a distribution, are we in accumulation, are we in expansion? So very simply put, I strongly believe that market can do 3 things: uptrend, downtrend, and go sideways. So the first part is what the market is doing and where it's coming from. So maybe just very simply put, probably here Bitcoin was accumulating. Once it broke the accumulation, it started to expand, and here probably started to distribute. And potentially, if this was truly a distribution, we will have then an expansion lower. So really trying to understand the very basic concept of what the price is doing, what has been doing before reaching the phase we are, and what is potentially the next phase. With the very simple concept of uptrend, downtrend, and ranges, or to be more technical, distribution, accumulation, and expansion. The second and the third part are again very retarded, is what the high time frame trend is telling me. So if we have to look at Bitcoin, potentially, clearly, we are coming from a downtrend. So whatever phase we are, we have to keep in mind that we are still in a downtrend, and what the low time frame price action is telling us. So this was potentially an uptrend in a bigger downtrend, and now potentially this uptrend has stopped and we are starting to downtrend. So if I have to sum up these three phases on Bitcoin, once again, potentially we had an accumulation, there was an expansion, potentially here we started to distribute, is coming lower. Where it is happening on a high time frame downtrend, and is happening on a low time frame uptrend that has been broken and potentially is moving lower. So super straightforward way of trying to form a bias. Then once again, I double check ranges also on low time frame. So once again, in the case of Bitcoin, when I see that all the three before started to give me a bias, then if I see that ranges, instead of breaking up as they were doing here, started to break down, as it happened here and is potentially happening now, I have a fourth, let's say, layer on my reasoning where I see that ranges are also telling me a story if the market is potentially accumulating or reaccumulating or distributing and redistributing. The fifth part is peak level. So until now, I just try to form a bias, try to form a story, try to have a storytelling of what was happening. Now I'm starting to develop interest. So if in the interest I develop on these four first layer is to go short, to go long, I try to understand where I want to go long, where I want to go short. So liquidity, supply, demand, support, resistance, range high, range low. I mean, super simple concept, but I have rules, let's say, where there are levels where I do business and where are levels where I simply do not do business. Once we reach this level and I develop some interest on charts, on specific pairs, whatever is crypto, stocks, or whatever else, then I pull up just at the very end some indicator. I mainly use RSI, the very simple and standard RSI, mainly for some confluence on momentum. I do not really use RSI for overbought or oversold, but I mainly use for divergency. So if I see price reaching one of my level of interest and I see a clear divergency on RSI, then I know that there is some further confluence for the thesis that I've been trying to develop so far. The last part, and I think it's the most important and the one that many traders or new traders skip, is that I simply double check if I have in my arsenal a strategy, a proven strategy, an edge, we can call it in many ways, where I can that I can use on that specific situation, on that specific concept. So many times I'm being asked, what do you think about this chart? What do you think about that chart? So my answer is, looks interesting, but I do not have any tools in my arsenal to trade it. So I do have some specific edge strategies or trade setup that are mainly a few for ranges and a few for trends that allow me to execute the market phase, the trends, the ranges, the levels, the indicator confluence in certain situation. There are many other situations where I can tell you, I think the price is going up, I think the price is going down, but I don't have in my arsenal, in my personal arsenal, a strategy to trade that specific trade. So once I follow this 7-step, let's say, logic top to down, if everything match and if I have a strategy and if I have a trigger, then I take a trade. But to be super simple and straightforward, the concept, let's say, behind all my trading is really super simple, and is from the concept that the market can do three things: go up, go down, and go sideways. According to what it's doing, I try to find levels of confluence of where and how I want to trade. Let's say, to keep it short, one of the most, let's say, signature setup that I have is I call it the three tap. I copied from Rect Proof, but is, I think in ICT they call it the power of three or accumulation, manipulation, deviation. I think that TA is a huge mountain of vanity and fancy name to call at the end the same stuff. But this is a trade that I took today publicly on X, and this is, let's say, one of the trade that I took the most is simply where a range is formed. So we have a sort of accumulation phase, we have a deviation. This is a stellar XLM. We have a deviation. Then for my standard, I need to see a market structure break back inside the range. And then I try to long a retest of range low, value area low. Once again, we can call it many times. It's basically a support level. I try to long a retest of that area with an invalidation on the swing low before the retest, and then I try to trade it back to mid range and potentially to range high. This, let's say, was a very lucky execution today, but it's really a textbook. I think ICT will show you something like this. That is the power of three. So you have an accumulation, you have a manipulation, and then you have the famous expansion. I think you can find this concept on Wyckoff from the beginning of the century. You can find it on ICT. You can find it again, once again, rect proof. I think it call it the three tap. So you have, let's say, a tap on support, a second tap here below, and a third tap here. So this was a multiple test. So, but the concept is always the same. Let's say the technical guy I learned it is a rect proof that is basically telling you a range form. So you have a first tap, then a range again, then you have the second tap that is the deviation, coming back again, back in the range, third tap is your entry, and then price go higher. To me, it's not important the terminology, it's not important the dogmatic approach, is important the concept. And the concept behind this setup is that potentially this range has been forming over the time. Many traders have been put their position that looks something like this. Price was unable to break above this range, and why this setup is powerful or is, let's say, give confluence, because when this manipulation happen, two major things are happening from a technical point of view. The first one is the stop loss of these guys is the liquidity that market maker, whales, institution, the boogeyman, call it whatever you want, needs to fuel their bigger order. So thanks to these people being stopped out, big order are triggered here. And the second point that many times people don't understand is the fact that all these guys have some sort of taking profit somewhere along the line here. So removing their stop loss is also removing a resistance. So why these moves are usually very explosive? Because liquidity is taken thanks to all this stop loss that has been triggered. But also the following move is usually very strong. Why? Because we also remove resistance. Because they're taking profit, what is simply a market sell order. So you activate two powerful, let's say, mechanism in the price. Then is what I was telling at the beginning. For me, it's important the story, is important the logic, is important what's happening. It's not important the name of how we want to call all of this. So that's why I think traders should always understand why strategy, why technicals, what they have behind the names, behind of the terminology, or behind the dogmatic approach. So I like to trade this because for me it's very clear what is happening in terms of market dynamics. People are stopped out, they give liquidity for big orders. Once they're stopped out, they're also taking profit order, are cancelled on the book, and they remove resistance level that potentially allow the price then to move explosively to the other direction. I do have other strategy, but let's say this is really my signature trade, and I take many of these, let's say, over the years, and I really like it once again because I really master the idea that is behind this concept. I do not master the technicals behind this this trade, but I master the logic, the reasoning, the dynamics that happen on the order book when this kind of trade play out. And I think today there was for sure some decent part of luck, but the market was basically red. I long the XLM super publicly before opening the trade at this level, and then you see what happened. Despite what Bitcoin was doing, was a very fat 10% candle higher. Not saying it's working all the time. It's just a strategy. It has let's say, a percentage of win rate according to the understanding of the trader that use it. But once again, I think it's a pretty reliable strategy. I like it a lot, and I trade it everywhere in all kind of market. I think I long at Tesla with the same, very similar idea, and was, I think, this range here where we had the more or less the same exact schematics. So once again, potentially a range forming, range is breaking down, market structure break, retest, and then move up. Then we can spice it up with the Fibonacci retracement, we can spice it up with demand, with the fixed range volume profile, and many other things. But once again, those are secondary to the understanding of the concept behind this behind this strategy.
Could you go back to the other chart? All of what you just said, I've got like a million questions about. But the first one, this one, yeah, just a very technical one. Where your entry is down there, at the range low on the far right trade.
Yeah.
If when it had tagged you in, it had collapsed through and taken your stop loss, would you then have taken a trade the other way, or would you have just like moved on from that trade and gone to a
No,
different chart?
this I think is one of the questions I get many times. No, because of my arsenal. As I was saying about the very simple concept, market can do three things: no, uptrend, downtrend, and range can do two things: keep ranging and breaking out. I think it's very important to understand what market can do, because you don't have really millions of options. No, in a range can do two things: keep ranging, or at a certain time breaking out and going, or a certain time breaking out here. Where it can break, two direction. You don't have a million direction. So either it range forever, or once it range, it can range. It can break above or it can break below. Again, very simple. It's always a 50-50. You don't have million option to complicate your life. So I have a strategy to continue to trade the range. I don't have many strategy to trade a range breakout. So I'm a very bad breakout trader. So your question is, should I have been taken out here? Would I take the trade? Yes and not, let's say. I did take some trade, I think, on sort of range breakout. I traded Ondo, Inge, but were a little bit different trade, not exactly the same. But I was longing on this breakout. I was longing Inge on this breakout here, but it's a little bit different. On this specific case, no, potentially no. Once again, because I'm a good range trader, but I'm not a very good breakout trader. So should I have been stopped out here, the assumption would have been the range is broken, and you would need to enter, let's say, somewhere here and then play the breakdown in this case of the range. I do it sometimes, but not as often as trading the range itself.
Yeah, that's how we differ, because I'm more of a range breakout trader. I'm going to show you my screen, and then I've got a few questions to ask based on what you've been covering there, just to essentially show you the similarities in how we trade. So here, this is Solana on M15, which I think is a really nice chart to trade. But I typically look at supply and demand, and I would just mark this as, that'd be the whole demand. But I agree with what you were saying, about it doesn't matter what it's called really, which is why I kind of default to ranges. but at the break of this big low here, we then have another supply zone, which sort of covers this area here. So my style is where I would look for us to be in a downtrend like so, and then I'd be looking for, when price is down here, a retrace to this point, which is that supply zone, and then I wait simply for price to range at that point, in which case it does, and I want to see it with my downtrend bias in mind. I want to see the range break out to the downside a few times, but be wary of the deviation, because I mean I can see here this is what you would have done and gone along to the other side of the range, and then I'd wait for it to look, it fails at the highs, and then it drops with strength to the downside, but I would only take that as a signal. I wouldn't take that as an entry trigger. And then for this exact reason, basically, because I always expect the range to get retested, and then once it breaks out of the range again, that candle would be my entry. And I want to make sure I'm looking for these ranges at sort of key areas like so. But yeah, that's essentially how I trade. But a few things.
But I think I can see one of my range deviation there. I think it's just different how we select the range.
Yeah. Different. Yeah, definitely in terms of the way it's drawn and timeframes and stuff. One of the things that I have always said and learned many years ago. I've been trading since 2015, and I learned the concept quite early on from a website called readthemarket.com, and it was very much just a rehash of supply and demand with a lot more nuances. And it was when you open the chart, the first question you should ask yourself is, where are we coming from and where are we going to? And usually that would be, we're in a downtrend, we're coming from supply, and we now need to look for the next area of liquidity, which is demand, and that's where it's going to trend down to. And I haven't heard many people kind of talk the way that you talk with relation to price action, which is very refreshing, because it's a similar outlook I have, where you're reading the story of the price action. It has information to tell you, and essentially you can get all that you need from the chart, just a pure naked chart. So where did you learn from? And clearly, whatever you've learned, whether it was like from a website or a YouTube series or whatever, clearly you've made a lot of sort of nuance, and you've stripped out all of the subjective language, and you're just cutting it down to exactly what it is. Price is expanding, then it ranges, and then it deviates out of the range, and it moves back to the other side of the range in that kind of sort of behavior. So where did you learn from, and like when did you start, tweaking things to go in your own direction with it?
Matt, I get this question many times, and I think as everybody in trading, I spent like 2 years so deep in the rabbit hole that I don't even remember where I got everything. The reference I give to everyone, let's say that my mentor was Trader Mercury. Probably you know him. So I've been in his Discord for a pretty long time. I use moving average. I took it from him, but then let's say I developed my own system. But he gave me a lot of market psychology, so I thanks him for really the approach to the market generally, not in technical terms. I learn ranges from Rect Proof. I learn a lot of liquidity about liquidity from Trader Chase. I learn a lot about ranges and again deviation, this kind of stuff from Trader XO. And I think it's pretty much it. Then I read a few books about trading, especially about auction theory and Wyckoff. I was in a period, let's say, of my trading very deep on Wyckoff. I think that has helped me a lot on understanding the market, let's say, phases and dynamics. But mainly following good traders on X, and then really trying to put a lot of works myself on it. I think there is a concept also from what you were saying, where we are coming from, where we are going, that is often a little bit not overlooked a little bit, and is the concept of proportionality. So it's not just it was a range breakout, there is an uptrend. I think it needs also to give a proportional, I don't know how to say in English, a proportional reading of what is happening. So if Bitcoin is breaking from a 1 week long range, is not the same if Bitcoin is breaking from a 2 months or 3 months long range. So I try to give this sort of proportionality. Like when Bitcoin broke finally from 73, 74K, I longed a few times. As I told you, I'm not really a breakout trader, but I managed to get a few long there where I saw many people were keep shorting it, no, because they still have some, let's say, bear market tram or whatever. Because to me, the proportionality was very important at that moment. So Bitcoin, I think, was ranging from early February until mid of April. So once I shorted that range many times, but when finally that range broke out, to me was logic that we would get a decent expansion. So decent means both in terms of time and distance. So to me, it was not appealing at all to short for the very first 3-4 weeks after that breakout. And in fact, we broke out in mid of April and we went up until mid of May. So at least 1 month. So I think also this is a concept that is often overlooked. So it's not just we come from an uptrend, we come from a range, we come from a downtrend. It's also how long we have been doing what we were doing, and when things are changed, give it a proportional effect, let's say. So if we have been ranging for a certain number of weeks, I expect, actually I don't expect anything from the market, but I can see a proportional expansion following because market has been accumulating or distributing for a certain time. So these, I think, are concepts that nobody taught me, but are very logical. I mean, if you really try to think about, it's normal. I mean, if you compress something for a very long time, you know that when it will explode more than if you have compressed it much less. It's really simple stuff, but I think I'm a logical person, but I also like to keep things very simple. I don't like to complicate my life. I'm not, let's say, super young. I'm 45, 46 years old. So I reach a level of my life where I want to keep my life simple. So I don't like to complicate things. And by keeping things simple, you go back really to the very simple, but at the end, more important things. And is the logic behind what is happening on the market.
Yeah, that's what resonated most with me is that I like to keep things simple as well, and I think a lot of people overcomplicate trading because as traders we're naturally a little bit more high IQ, and therefore we kind of gravitate to like smarter sounding things, or we want to sound smart as well. We want to think that you have to have multiple different pieces of information and like layers upon layers of information that create this system, when it's like that bell curve meme where the left curve and the right part of the curve are the same,
Yeah.
where it's just like it's going up, I'm going to buy it, or it's going down, I'm going to sell it. And I keep it very simple as well, where it's going sideways and it's going to break out either to the upside or the downside. And if we're in a downtrend, I'm going to chase the breakout to the downside. And if we're in an uptrend, I'm going to chase the breakout to the upside. So I like to keep it pretty simple as well. Yeah, it's really interesting to hear you say all that. And was that something you've always had with trading, like since the beginning, or did you have to go through periods where
No,
you
no.
did try overcomplicate it and looked in the wrong places?
Yeah, yeah. I think I have to, and I think it might resonate with many traders. I had the strategy hopping phase where I was really very deep on the rabbit hole, and I was trying many things and studying many, many things, and never finding an end or I was never seeing the light of the tunnel. So every chapter I closed, there was a new chapter to open to study new things. And the second one was really to complicate it a lot. So always to look for further confluence, further confluence, further confluence. And I think that is the phase where you don't accept the fact that we are operating in an environment of probability. So it's the moment, I think, when you overload with complicate things, is the moment that you want to be certain. Or maybe you took a lot of loss and you are very red on your portfolio, so you want to add a lot of stuff to make sure that you are certain about what you're doing. And until you understand that you simply have to let it go. I mean, it's always uncertain. You can add a million indicator, but you will never have any certainty. So then from there, you understand that you start to remove excessive stuff, remove, until you have to find a sweet spot, I think, of the right number of confluence, but still something that you can action, something that is actionable in the daily, let's say, life of a trader, and then you start to remove a little bit. But I think a big step, and I think this can resonate with any trader, is the fact that at a certain moment you have to let it go. You have to understand that it's a game of probability, so you'll never be right most of the time. I still hate to lose. I still hate to take a stop loss. It's something that still have a big impact on me. But I learn to live with it, and I learn to click buttons, to keep buying and selling, and to live with the consequence of working in an environment that is full of uncertainty and just trying to balance probability. Something that I find myself saying usually is, I can find so many bullish argument, and I can find so many bearish argument for this chart. So once I match the arguments I can find for one or the other thesis, I see if they are 50-50, I don't take the trade. But if I can find more argument for a bearish bias, probably I go short. I will always find some bullish argument in any chart. No, I will always find an argument against my original thesis. But I know that we'll never be 100% sure that the price is going in a direction. But when I have more argument on one direction, then I know that if those arguments are strong enough, I will take it. Even if I know that there are some argument against my trade. Then market will decide what is right or wrong, or which argument was right or wrong. I'm never wrong. I'm just trying, and then the market will tell me what's wrong and what's right.
I like that. I'm going to move on to the next section now. Otherwise, we're going to be here forever. I'm really enjoying this. The second chapter I have called Trader Lifestyle and Background. So I want to touch on a little bit more of your background in trading and how you got started. First of all, really, like, how long have you been trading for, and what first got you into it?
So I've been trading, I think, since 2020, 2019, probably, but more seriously 2020, 21. So not really long time. My background, it was completely different. I was an humanitarian worker, so I work in mainly conflict zone for around 15 years. So like Afghanistan, Iraq, Yemen, Syria, these kind of places. So I took a sabbatic, and I bought with my girlfriend a sailboat, and we started to sail. So I had a lot of free time, and I started to learn to enjoy trading. I was coming from a very adrenaline job, let's say. So I think trading was a good way to balance, let's say, my previous life with still something that was, let's say, less risky in terms of physical or danger, real danger, but still very, very challenging. So I like to to have challenge in my life. I always have very big challenge. So this was a very big challenge. So I have a background in economics, so it was a little bit helping for me. But I started as everybody. So I think I bought some Doge or some bullshit meme coin. It went up and then it went down. And I think that bull market, I saw a lot of profit vanish. And I say, look, fuck it, let's give this shit a try and let's try to learn these things. And then I started to learn it a lot and to really go very deep. If something is giving me passion, I really go very deep on it, and it happened with trading. So I think I've been 3-4 years trying a lot of things, and then profitable, I think, since 2 years, more or less. And I mean, I really like freedom. I don't care about Rolex. I don't care about Lambos. I really like to be free. So we spend with my girlfriend around 5-6 months a year on our sailboat, sailing on the Mediterranean. And we like to be off grid. We like to be really far away from everything else. So I think trading is giving me this chance. Is really not about the money, but is about the freedom that I can have to enjoy life. I really don't need much to be happy. So it's to have a decent life is all what I look, and the freedom to do what I want whenever I want. Then at the end, you like it so much that you spend so much time, maybe sometime in front of the laptop instead of maybe taking a swim on a desert beach. But still, I know I can do it when I want.
Enjoyed time isn't wasted time, though, right? So
Yeah.
it may not be totally freedom, but if you're sat there enjoying it, then it's kind of freedom in a way. What did you do in the military then? What did you see any
No, I
action?
was
Like,
not
what
in
was
the
it?
mini. No, I was not in the military. I was an humanitarian
Oh,
operator.
oh, humanitarian. I thought you said military, and I was like, oh, damn.
No.
So what did that
No,
involve?
I was I was mainly directing hospital for war surgery.
Ah, okay, interesting. So
So I was
take you around the world?
setting up. Yeah, was working for several NGOs, and I was mainly in charge of setting up, running surgical center, more for the administrative and logistical part, mainly for war surgery.
So pretty like high stakes environment as it was, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did that help you with your training, do you think?
Uh, I think so. I think everything helps in life. So let's say I was pretty successful in my career. So I started very young, and at the end I was, let's say, managing very big project with a lot of stuff and a lot of things. So I was used to stressful environment. I was used to be very calm in situation. I mean, I was usually in charge, so I had to be calm, to reassure everybody. I was, let's say, I developed some cold blood, I developed some empathy. The maximum I had, I think I had 1,400 staff under me. So it was, let's say, not easy, but very challenging. I grow a lot. It helped me a lot in many things, I think. Trading and life. It's, then you see a lot of bad things also this happening to think more on what is important, what is not important, what not to be a piece of shit. I mean, life is very short when you see a lot of people dying, so you understand that it's better not to be an ass, no? Because our day are counted. So when you see a lot of people dying, you give more value to life, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I've had personal experiences with that, and it definitely makes you look at the world differently and put things into perspective when you're stressing over something very small. I think one of the things with trading, and something I've particularly suffered with, and I know many other people do, is a lack of self belief. And that normally comes from the background that you have. And I think as trading has become more accessible to people, the younger guys have been able to get in and not haven't really had that sort of like battleground that they've had to go through in life just yet, and it can lead to confidence issues with trading. But I guess like having a pretty high stakes job has, like you said, gave you a bit more of colder blood and be able to be a little bit more ruthless.
That for me was, let's say, the other way around, because I had a pretty successful career, so the market humbling me was something not easy to take it. I mean, I've never been an arrogant person, or I've never been, let's say, I always been fairly humble. But I think I've never been humble like by the market. So once again, you know, I think this is one of the biggest difference on trading and another profession. I think I was reading also in several books. Even a very high, let's say, doctor or lawyer or whatever, they are not losing so often, no? I mean, they might make mistake or stuff like this, but trading is really teaching you to lose. And I was not losing so much of my job, let's say, but because it's different, no. Most of the job is mainly based on certainties, no. And if you have to look at a surgeon, I mean, maybe sometimes he can make mistake, but he's doing procedure that usually works 99% of the time, no? Otherwise, they would not put patient on a bed to be operated. So yes, there is a small percentage of failure, but it's very small. While in trading, the percentage of failure is very high. I mean, it can be 30, 40, 50, 60, 70%. So it's really a profession that teach you to lose much more than any other profession.
Have you read Best Loser Wins by Tom Hugard?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's one of
I
my
think it
favorite
is
books.
that, no, that explains that many professional or successful professional that comes into trading, they believe that because they were good at their profession, they will go also be good at trading. But I think I cannot see any other profession that force you to lose so much, and you will always lose. I mean, a surgeon or whatever, a lawyer, I think the more they go in their career, the less mistake they do. For a trader, it's true until a certain point. I mean, you will always do mistake. The market will always humble you. It is a never learning curve. So for sure you improve. For sure you get better. But still you will lose. Still you will make mistakes. Still you will be humble. So I think I can't find any other profession where losing is such a big part of the game, and it's never ending. You will always lose. You will always be humble, and you should be super okay with it. So it's a super good book, and I think it's very important to understand it. As long as you don't understand that you have to lose, you never win.
Yeah, for sure. I think the more you're able to just accept it as like acquiring data and then moving on is a really key sort of mental switch. So you started trading about 5-6 years ago. So you quit. You finished your career and then you were on a sailboat and then you picked up trading. Is that right? Or were you on the mainland?
Yeah.
Like what was the case?
Yeah, no. Usually, I stay in 6 months on the sailboat. Winter is too cold for my Mediterranean blood.
um,
So yeah, it was at the very beginning. I was still working. Sometimes I was still doing some mission in the winter. So I was sailing in the summer and still doing some mission in the winter. Then it became full time.
so when you like were going down these rabbit holes and deep dives into trading, what did your life look like at that point? Like how were you balancing things? Because I imagine obviously it takes a fair period of time to experiment so much, but like what was your day-to-day life looking like during that period?
I think, in thousand Discord and the Telegram channels, and chatting a lot and searching and studying and looking for strategies, books. Really was hours and hours a day on studying and sharing. I've been very active from the very beginning. I think I was in a chat of Nebraska Gunner. He has like a open educational chat years ago. And there I met a lot of friends that are still trading and we are still in touch. I mean, I think that we were hundreds of traders there, but probably a handful of us is still around. And it was nice. I mean, we were sharing chart, we were sharing a lot of stuff, ideas and things, and trying, testing. It's like you are in a lab, no? And you are trying to test something. It's like you are trying to mix poisons and chemicals and see what's working, what doesn't work. And sometimes I find my charts from back in the day, and it's very funny to see it. But I mean, I was very dedicated. I was writing a lot of stuff on my chart, so a lot of notes. I have a lot of notebooks, and it was very nice, but very frustrating. But is that part of the? I think is that part of the engagement where you are still losing money, but for me it was nice. I mean, it was really. I was in love, so the negative part was not so heavy. I
Yeah,
lost, I lost some money for sure, but still, I don't know why, but I think I always had somewhere in the back of my mind that I would make it. This is something that I think I never really doubted it. To be super honest, I mean, I know it was tough, but even when I had no, I don't know how to say it in English. Even when I had no concrete proof that I would ever make it because I was really bad at it, somehow in the back of my mind, it was just a part. I think I felt it that if I keep going, I would make it. I would learn it, not make it. I mean, it's not a matter of make it. I would learn it. I would find a way to do it in a peaceful way. That once again is not about money. It's doing it in a way that you feel satisfied. And now I feel I do it in a way that I'm satisfied. That is the point. Is again is not about the P&L card. It's really about feeling in tune with the market. That is the beautiful things of it.
yeah. I think
Sometimes not for sure, but
and if you really
I mean, it
believe it as
takes you.
well, it carries you forward, right? Like that
It's not.
feeling where you're going to
You know,
make it.
it's not that. No, no. I think it sounds arrogant. It's not that I knew I would make it. I never doubted. I don't know how to say it. I mean, I like it to do it, so I love it to do it, so I keep doing it because I love it so much that to me there was no alternative than keep going.
Yeah, so I the exact same thing. Yeah, it's something that you just kind of have to build within yourself, and I think once you start building small reference points, the way you kind of build a little bit of confidence, it keeps you going. So
Yeah,
you're
that part that no, I read it many times, no, so I never thought it would happen to me. But at a certain time, I think everything starts to click. It's really happening. I mean, I feel it now. I don't know why I know how to trade it now. If you ask me where did you learn it, I mean, it was so much information that I can tell you more or less, but I don't know where I learned it. I mean, I learned it in a million places, or probably I learned it in one place that is inside me. I don't know. I mean, it is everywhere and nowhere. I learn it, but I know that it click. One day it click. Now it's clicking. Some days now it's clicking. I mean, everything. I open a chart and I do my stuff and it click. And I think I know where the market is going, or I know where the market is going. I know how I want to play it, and I'm okay even if I'm wrong because I mean it makes sense to play it like this.
yeah, yeah. I think just accepting it is it just you get to a point, don't you, where it's like, oh, I know how to get the money out of it, and it doesn't always work, and that's fine because I trust that I can get that money back. I think that's a really sort of like core belief that people can build somewhere along the journey, anyway.
Yeah,
So you're just sort of like daily routine at the moment. What does it look like? Because when I see your posts, I'm like, how you sailing a boat and trading and like staying on top of your Discord and your subscriptions and you're posting content on social media. It feels like you're doing a lot. Like, what is your kind of, you wake up in the morning and, you know, what does your day like usually look like?
Yeah, I think this is again, it's something that it melted by itself. But to have like a public account and to have subscribers, this kind of stuff, I think it melted all together, no? So I think what I was doing for myself now is become something that I do for others, but still is benefiting me. So I know that on Monday I have to send a market update for my subscriber, for example, and I have to record a market weather bulletin. Is the Monday update I do on YouTube for everyone. But this is something I was doing anyhow on Monday. So, I know that on Monday I have to check the market, make a plan, and see what I want to do for the coming week. So instead of doing only for me, I do it for my audience. Let's say some is free, some is not free, but so it's really a regular way. So on Sunday I do my journal, and again I do it publicly, but I would do it for myself as well. I have a rules: if I don't finish my journal on Sunday, I don't trade on Monday. So this is a very strict something very. I like to give small tips. Something that changed a lot on my trading and especially on my journaling is that I focus a lot on my weekly schedule. So when I was doing everything on a monthly basis, it was really bad. So it was a lot of job to do, and I didn't remember everything about the month, and I was not able really to set. I mean, I was setting a goal for the month, but I was getting lost after 5 days. When I move everything to a much more weekly cadence, everything started to work much better for me. So when I do my journal on Sunday, I still remember a lot of things. I have less trade to journal, so it's much easier. And then I commit to some improvement I want to do to the next week, and it's just 7 days. So I commit on Sunday, and the commitment are stronger, are more present, no, in my life. So then on Monday I do. On Sunday I also try to make a watch list of what I'm interested. I use a lot of alarms on my trading view. And then Monday I start to get into the business. So I make update myself, I update my audience, and then during the week I try to keep balancing everything. I'm managing trade, opening and closing trade, and frankly, I have a lot of free time from trading, so I like to do a lot of educational content. So I really like to do a lot of educational content because I like to help other trader. But to be super selfish, it helps me a lot. I really saw that the more I write about my strategy, the more I write about my concept, about my psychology, the more I write about anything related to trading, the more I master this concept, the more I reflect on this concept, the more I digest this concept much deeply inside me. So maybe in the past I wrote something in my notebook about some of this concept, but when you have to write it for an audience, then you really level up. So when you have to think about your strategy that you need to explain it to someone else, you really level up, because then people ask you, sorry, you say your strategy is A, B, C, but what if D, what if X? So then you really start to brainstorm yourself, but also brainstorming with other people that is making question, and then your strategies really start to layer up, and become much better. So I really started to do it for other reason, but I really see that the more I do for others, the more I improve myself. So it's really becoming a positive chain, and also it helps me to avoid doing stupid things on the market, because there is a lot of moment where it's really better you don't touch anything. So I focus on something else. I produce content, I produce educational content, I answer to people, I try to help other trader, I explain better, for example, I try to schedule my YouTube in a logical way also for me. I have a series that is the market weather bulletin, that is the plan for BTC and the trade I would take on BTC every Monday. And this really trade base. It's not squiggle, it's not a thousand scenario, but it's really the trade I want to take that week. Then I have another series that is the Learn and Trade. I think it's 50, 60 hours of educational content on YouTube at this time, where I explain about all my strategy, theory, indicators, whatever you have, I try to put it, and it's developing on the years. And then I have a third series that is called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, where I pick 3 trades of the past week, one good, one bad, and one ugly, and I do a review of these trades. So this is really something I do for my audience, but it's so helpful for me too. It's really helping me to improve and to become better. So I'm really glad that I choose this path to do it publicly.
Yeah, it seems like from where I'm sitting that you're enjoying it as well, which is always a big help. Um, and that will kind of segue into our third chapter, actually, which is about maintaining the work ethic, and maintaining your own mindset as well, right? Because the thing with trading is you need to be able to stay at a consistent mindset and be able to manage your emotions consistently as well, which is the main thing. And I found when I'm sort of moving back to swing trading now, but I found as a day trader that my performance was always related to the consistency of my daily habits. So if I was doing things daily that I knew would benefit me, such as walking, going to do some exercise, meditating, journaling, that kind of thing, it kept me on top of my game. So with all of this stuff that you're doing, like how do you maintain your mindset? How do you maintain this work ethic? Because it kind of feels like a lot from where I'm sitting, and with the emotions of trading and the stress of trading and the, I guess, a little bit of stress of doing stuff publicly, although maybe you've just kind of made peace with whatever happens. Like, what do you do? Like, are you going to the gym and stuff? Or are you, like just, is it a secondary part of your lifestyle maybe? Or have you got habits that you kind of stay on top of? Like, what are you doing to, keep yourself consistently performing at a high level from multiple different fields?
I should definitely work out more. I mean, I do some, but I used to do more. So lately, I travel a lot. That is the problem, because in summer I'm in the sailboat, and in the winter we also have a van. So we travel around Europe with the van. But let's say traveling, I travel pretty a lot. So I so many new places, we visit places. So we are more or less always on the move. So this helps a little bit to be distracted. And I think it happened. I mean, I think last week we just moved back to the boat, and it was not easy to keep everything up. And I made some stupid decision in trading as well. So I think it's normal to have up and down in the life and in the trading. So my life is definitely not very stationary, it's very fixed. So it happened that let's say I'm used to be a nomad, but still it have some effect. About doing it public, I think it is a double sword compromise, because somehow to do things publicly, it helps you to be more accountable to yourself and to the people that is watching you, especially once you start to have a decent audience. So it for sure helps you to be, let's say, more careful on what you do, what you say, and how you position yourself, because there is other people watching you. But I think it's also very dangerous, because your ego get much more involved, and that is, I think, the very dangerous part. I based, let's say, most of my social presence on honesty, and this is something I did from the super very beginning. And I think I was very tired of seeing all the bullshit everybody see on Twitter, on CT, and this kind of stuff. And this was one of the main drivers for me to start to do everything public and to do it completely honesty. I mean, never deleting a post, and probably I speak much more about my loss than my win, because it's really something that I believe should be done. But there are moments where your ego get in the way. So maybe you win a lot and you do it publicly, and for sure there is is amplified. So also when you lose publicly, for sure it amplifies. So it took some time to keep your ego under check on the positive and on the negative moment. Also, the very difficult things to do publicly is to accept that you are wrong. And I think this is, I don't like to speak about others, but let's say perhaps you had a stance, you had an opinion, you had a view on the market, and then the market is proving that it's going another direction. So for sure, you have to swallow a little bit, not to say it publicly. Group, guys, I was wrong, and the market is going another direction. I think now I've learned to do it pretty easily. I always try to do it, but there were moments that was not easy, So perhaps you hold the position a bit too long, and I think I made peace with a lot of these things, and now I really cut my losses short. I really cut my position quickly when they go against me, and I have no problem. I mean, let's say I have many less problems saying when not I was wrong, but my view on the market was different than what the market decided to do. But let's say if you want to do this and you want to do it public, you have to understand that there is a benefit of accountability, but there is for sure a big part of keeping your ego under control, because it's not just you and the mirror. I mean, it's you and 20,000 people. So, and people can be bad. I think the first 2 years of my presence on X, the most engaged post was a stop loss I took on Bitcoin. So it was, you understand, when you lose, is people like it more than when you win. So then you understand that you don't give a fuck at certain times. I mean, it's I'm very lucky. I really don't have haters. I think I have one haters, but I like him. I mean.
And that just came from time, did it? Were you at a point with your trading, when you went public with it, where you were very confident in what you were doing, or was it just I'm going to go for it, like I'm just going to put it out there and whatever happens happens?
Yeah, I think it was like this. I'm still surprised that let's say my account grow as it grow. I mean, it was growing at the beginning, even I was not so good on trading, but I've been super honest since the very beginning. I mean, I really based my account on transparency, honesty. I really wanted to do something different. Not saying that I'm the only one doing it, but I think it's still rare, no, to. So I really wanted to make it transparent, honest, and I wanted to show the up and the down. And I think people like it. And if I have to do it again, for sure, I would do it the same way, because I attracted a lot of nice people. When you are a piece of shit, you end up being surrounded by piece of shit, I think. So, I think, I mean, people understand me, and once you are honest, you are transparent, you say, I have no problem to say, I don't know. I don't know what the market will do. I know yesterday I knew it. Today I don't know. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow I'll know, but I don't know. So I think if you are willing to show your weakness, people will understand. If you are always arrogant, I think you'll be surrounded by arrogant people, and all of us will be wrong one day. I mean, there is nobody that can have 100% win rate or will have 100% right calls and whatever. So stay humble, because for sure one day you'll be wrong. So what's the point on being an ass all the time you're right? The day will come. It's mathematics. It's not.
Yeah, and I think it's easy to be yourself, right? It's easier just to tell the truth. If you're trading and you're just showing it, you're going to have losses, and you don't have to talk
It's
about
not
every
nice.
single one, but it's just easy. You're not playing a character, are you? You're talking, and I think more people resonate with that rather than living vicariously through the dude that's showing off Lambos and the girls and stuff. People relate more to the real experience.
I think the right people do. Then there's still people that like Lambos and Rolex, and I have nothing against them. I mean, they can enjoy it. It's not my cup of tea, but Look, I did it publicly for 2 years. I share every trade I took, every single trade I took, and every week I share my journal. So I mean, I think it was really a next level transparency. Let's say it's really, really everything, everything. So it was my journal. Let's say it started to like my journal. So I say everything I do, I'll do it here.
Yeah, very cool.
Trader Mercury was encouraging me at the beginning to do it, so I said, okay, let's do it. And I think when I started to do publicly, everything changed. So I took myself even more serious because, even if I had few hundred followers, for me it mattered. So I started to do more and more serious. It really helped me a lot to do it publicly. And in that case, the difference with trading that I had never had the idea of growing an account on the social and stuff like this. That was completely complementary, and the growth that I had, that is a full organic growth and whatever, came completely unexpected.
Yeah, man, you can see the realness in it. It's just why I'm really happy to have you on, because I've thought about it for a while. But every time I see your tweets, it's always something really positive. You're always like, it's like a positive tone. You're working hard, and it's all just raw truth. Like whether you've taken things wrong or not, you're just like, it is what it is, and then I'll just move on to the next one. It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, but let's say the love and the appreciation and everything I received was truly unexpected, and I really feel blessed for all that happened. Let's say there.
Yeah, just keep going, man. This will go nicely to the next chapter. Actually, just speaking about the realness of what people appreciate hearing and the vulnerabilities as a trader. So chapter 4 is about battling through a dark period. Because I've noticed it as well, and I try to keep my content as raw and honest as possible and as transparent as possible, because it's just like I said, it's the easiest thing to do, right? So, have you got anything you wanted to share in terms of like a really dark period that you've gone through with your trading, and how you managed to pull yourself out of it, just to kind of give a little bit of inspiration for anyone that may be going through the same thing? But also, I'm kind of interested to see what other traders have gone through myself.
I think the darkest period is when you lower your guard. And I think it happened to me the last time 2 years ago, probably, yeah. I think there is a moment where everything starts to make sense, and you start to be profitable, but still you lack that. It's not just discipline. I think it's routine, no? So the routine. You know what is discipline. You know already what is. You are at this stage where you know what is risk management. You know what is discipline. You know many things, but still you don't have a discipline and a routine to keep everything under control. So you know what you should do, but still you have not organized, your life, your trading life, to make sure that you are always protected. And usually in that moment where you lower your guard is the moment that the market is ready to punish you very, very bad. And I think it was a moment where I had, in the same moment, several positions open and several orders. At that time, I was using stinky beads a lot. So I always have stinky beads. And I was good at it. I was good at having stinky beads on the market. It was like, let's say, a bull market, but I always have stinky beads to be filled on liquidation event, and that liquidation was very big. So I was taken out from several open position, and few of the stinky beads were also stopped out. So I knew it. I should not do it. I was not used to do it, but I think that night I forgot before going to bed to double check, how much risk exposure I would have and all this stuff. And then I realized that I have too much stuff ongoing. So I was good at it, but it was not possible to keep it under control, and it was a very big loss. And it was not just the big loss. It was the fact that I was profitable, let's say, from some time, but still that big loss was unexpected or something that I was sure was not going to happen to me. And then from that day, I really understood that I really had to work more on the routine, on the. It's not the pure risk management. Is the fact that you always have to understand how much you're exposed and how you have to organize your life in a way that you are always sure that whatever happen, you cannot be hurt to so much as it happened to me that time. I think I lost 20% of my trading portfolio. So I was not wiped out, but my tolerance is like 4 or 5%. So it was 4 or 5 times that one, and it was a big one. I mean, I know there is story of people completely wipe up, but I mean, if you are a trader and you lose 20% in a night, it really takes a lot to recover. So it really created a big problem for me. I mean, it's not financially, but you know, to recover from a minus 20 R is not easy psychologically and then also technically. So there I understood after that time I took a pause and I reframe a little bit more the routine, let's say, around my trading. It was not the concept that was not clear, but was not clear or I was not good at creating my life around trading and making sure that always I had the proper guard, I had double guard, and I had all the safety measure to prevent the market to hurt me too much. I think now it came to me naturally. I know. So I know that if I have to open more position, I have to move my stop loss at break even to others and so on. It comes more naturally. But I think there is a moment where you understand how to trade, you learn how to trade, you become good at trading, but still you have vulnerabilities, and market will always find those the vulnerabilities and at certain times and will hit very hard on this vulnerability. And the moment it happens, you will delay it, you will cancel, you will ruin 6 months of good working, let's say. So that was very shocking, let's say, for me, because I knew I could trade and I knew I was trading properly, but in one night I deleted, I don't know, 3 or 4 months of hard work, and then I understood, you know, to do this you really have to be professional. To do this you have really to be like a professional football player. I mean, it's not something you do like an amateur. That okay, I'm good, I'm okay, but still I have some weakness. But who cares? It will be fine. No. That was a moment that I really understood that it really need to be like a profession from A to Z, from everything, because the sooner you have a weak spot, you lose, and you lose badly, and you will cancel a lot of progress you have done in very few minutes. So you really need to step up your game. You really need to be super focused on everything you do.
How long was that period for you to recover from when you hit that big loss
No,
to breaking even again?
I don't remember. It took. I mean, I was in profit still. I mean, again, let's say my portfolio was still in profit, but it took. I think it took 2 or 3 months to go back and to recover that 20R.
Do you remember what your mindset was like at the time? Was it kind of a defeated one, or was it kind of like a defiant one where you were just like, "Fuck,
Yeah.
I'm
It
going to
was
do this"?
no, it was very dark. No, you know, because I was really trying a lot. I mean, it was not something reckless. I mean, I lost before. I lost probably much more at the beginning, but I know I lost because I was gambling at the beginning, so it was normal, let's say, to lose. But that loss, let's say, even was proportionally smaller, was hurting more because I was already good. I was already giving a lot to it, but I was not professional. I think I was not yet completely understanding the magnitude of the concentration of focus of thinking a lot of many aspects to put on it. it's really like a professional sport. You have to prepare a lot. You can't go on the pitch if you are not 100% sure that everything in your team it's bulletproof, because the market will always find a way to penetrate your vulnerability. So that was the, the hard part to accept, and then to work around, and then from there, I think I started much more to build on the routine, on the weekly routine, on the daily routine, and to trade it less. I think in the past I was taking like 20, 30 trades per week. I think now I take an average of 3 or 4. Also for this reason, because the more you trade you have, the more difficult it is to control everything and to manage everything, and the more exposed you have, the more the easier it becomes to have vulnerability. So the less trade you have, easier to control. At least for me, I mean, there is trader that can do hundreds trade per week, but as I said at the beginning, I'm retarded, so I really need to keep it under control. But I think the lesson and the difficulties I have in that moment was to understand that good was not enough. I mean, and average was not enough. I mean, it was really to give it a little bit more, to be more. To think it again like a professional sport, 360 degrees and everything, and the preparation, the execution, and the protection, and I think I always preach about this, never to lower our guard, because all the time I did, the market found it, and he found my naked spot, and he beat me very badly there. But I think it was good. No, I think it's always good if you learn from this kind of stuff, and you start to move forward. But it took some time. It helped me to rethink about and to reorganize things much more. I think that is the moment where I started to move everything on the weekly basis, to keep everything under control and to keep everything more in the present, let's say, more in the now.
So was there like a specific routine that you hadn't done before that you were like, right now I need to adopt this, and like you said, treat it more professionally, treat it more seriously so you can get more serious results? Was there like a particular thing that kind of you implemented to change? Or were you just
Yeah,
getting?
what I was telling you about the weekly. So now I know how much risk I have, how much risk I have to increase, to decrease, what I have to move to break even if I have to open another position. I use the break even a lot, something that I was not doing before. So I know I'm a gambler, so I know that sometimes I like to, if I see a trade, I like sometimes to take it. But now I know that if I have other trade open, maybe they are a bit in profit, so I have to take a decision. So if I'm already exposed 3-4%, if I have to open a new trade, I'll pick one that is already in profit. I will move. I make it simple, just for the sake of keeping it short. But I'll move one at break even, so I will risk another one. So I have a risk balance that I know I have to follow. And again, this moves more or less on weekly basis. Then for sure, it follows on daily basis or on hourly basis. But the framework is given on the weekly.
Okay, yeah, I think that shows the importance
There is,
really of, mapping out exactly what you're doing, and, not
yeah,
just putting your finger in the air and going with it, but
yeah,
actually having a solid
yeah.
kind of direction, right?
Yeah, I do this, let's say, on Sunday. Let's say, okay, I'm entering the new week with this exposure, with this, and this. So I know that this week, until I don't change anything, I have maximum this risk tolerance. If I want to open more than certain number of trades, so I know that the one that I'm dragging from last week need to be managed. So let's say it's like a debit and credit from one week to another movement.
What do you track it all in? Is it like a Excel sheet, or do you use like a
Yeah,
journal
no,
software?
Excel. I use Excel. I
Oh, that's
like
cool.
all the. Then now I give it sometimes every 3 months. I give all the data to Claude to see if he gives me something more.
All right, cool, man.
But let's say the source is Excel, but I give it once in a while to Claude to do we do a session with Claude to see if he can find more things than I can, and he usually does.
Cool. Right, I'm going to roll this on to the last chapter, and you've actually touched up on a lot of this already for what I was going to ask, which is cool because I will ask a few other things. But it's about public accountability, and what you're doing is quite unique in terms of doing everything transparently, doing it all publicly, and having a decent track record with it as well. You know, it's not something you see very commonly. And you have touched up on it already about some of the lessons that you have learned and some of the ways that it's helped your trading. So I'm trying to think of some questions because you have answered quite a lot of them already. But um, is it something which you're just intending to do going forward, or is it got a lifespan, or do you think that maybe if you did stop, it's going to affect your trading negatively because you haven't got that public accountability?
I'm not sure what would happen, but I started to do it pretty much as I was saying at the beginning, where I started to do this seriously. So I don't see another way to do it at this stage. So no, probably would not change a lot. But probably I would be a bit more reckless if I don't do it publicly. This is something I would be afraid of because I'm so used to do it with people being checking me somehow. That to do it alone, I would feel I would become probably more reckless. Yeah, probably it's. I become addicted to this, but in a positive way. Let's say that it keep me under check. As a lifespan, I started a subscription, let's say, content on X. I think 3-4 months ago, and is going incredibly well. I think I'm almost at 300 subscribers, so it's really getting huge reception, and I really like it. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah, so I don't think I stop it anytime soon, as long as my girlfriend is not gonna kill me for the time I spend on it. But so far I enjoy it. I mean, I like to change. I have to be frank. I like to. Let's say I had a very intense life, and sometimes I get bored, and then I change completely, as I did already a few times of my life. So maybe I get bored and I will change everything. But the trading and the social part of it, I think for me they go hand in hand. So probably if I get fed up, I will get fed up of both at the same time.
And as you have quite a lot of exposure to different traders, I used to run an education group back in the day. Is there anything that you have noticed as like quite a common problem amongst most people that has a somewhat simple solution? A lot of people come to you and ask you certain questions. Is there like a particular thing that stands out to you, having had quite a lot of exposure to the public?
No, not sure I get it, Matt. In which angle? Sorry.
So like where you've got a lot of people subscribed to you, you're gonna have a lot of people messaging you and commenting on your posts, with certain problems that they're going through and asking for your advice. Is there sort of a common
Okay.
theme?
I think as much as I stress a lot that my service are not done for the purpose of my service is not copy trading, and nothing that I do should be taken as a signal service, that everything I do is for education and to show what I'm doing so people can learn, can take the trade. I think there is still a lot of search for gurus and for signals and for copy trading and for the solution. And many newcomers are really still really focus on that one alone. I think I said a million times. I strongly believe that copy trading is the perfect path to failure and to lose money. I strongly believe that following signal from other people, especially including me, is the perfect path to lose money. I did it for some time at the very beginning, and I lost always a lot of money. And the fault was mine, not the people I was copying, because we are completely different people. We have different risk tolerance, and we manage trade in a different way. And everybody's losing sometimes, so you probably end up copying my losing trade, and perhaps you don't copy my winning trade. And I mean, it's really very personal. So I think the biggest problem in the industry is that, again, I don't like to speak about others, but that many show this invincibility, they show this perfection, they show this 100% win rate. So many newcomers are coming with a dream that if they follow the right person, they will make money. If they follow the right trader, they will become rich. And if they follow the guy with the Lambo, they will also get the Lambo. And it really doesn't work that way. I mean, there is no shortcut. There is no easy way to make money. There is no, I mean, especially in crypto, I think it's one of the environment where it's much easier to lose money than to make money. It's a very different environment. I mean, if you invest in this SP 500, you will probably make money. You just need to be patient and you may make money. If you buy Amazon, if you buy Google, you'll probably make money. If you just wait, you understand? Simple way to make money are those. Crypto, very easy way to lose money. Trading, very easy way to lose money. So it really need hard work, a lot of struggle, a lot of suffer, and maybe one day a few percent will make money. So I think the industry still, and the people in the industry, especially the newcomers, are still on a gold rush when they arrive and they want to find the gold mine, and they believe that the gurus are the solution to all the problem. I think if they follow the right people, they can be helped, but not by copy trading or by getting signals to make money. I think that is the most common question I get. And you know what I'm telling you, people asking me, but if I subscribe to your content on X, will I be able to get your trades? And then say, look, 90% of my trade are free and public, so take them if you want. I don't know, but you lose. You don't need to pay for it. If you want to pay for the subscriber, is to get more value, more education, more guidance, more mentorship, more help. I can check your chart. I can suggest you how to improve on your charting, on your trading, but it's not about copy trading. So it makes me understand that they don't even spend the time to check my profile. You understand? Where most of my trade are already there, free and public and shared live. So it's really the shortcut that is I think the common trait that I see in many people. Then there is many other guys that are fantastic, that are putting a lot of work, probably the 2%, the 3%, to be frank, very, very few. But they are working their ass off and they are improving and they are becoming great traders. And if they continue on this path, they will be for sure elite trader in due time. There are few, but there are the one that are really on the right path, and they will, I'm 100% sure, succeed. But the majority, again, is the gold rush, and sorry to say, but there will be liquidity.
Yeah, I agree. Well, keep doing what you're doing, man. I think this is a great time to end this. Keep doing what you're doing. It's going really well from what I'm seeing it as, and it's inspiring. And I think after this call, I'm gonna message you sometime for some advice myself on how to do what you're doing and sort of emulate it. So appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you spending your time to jump on. Is there anything you wanted to say before we leave to anyone, or plug anything?
I think, I mean, it's people is listening. I guess that they want to be trader, or they are trader, or they're trying to be traders. So I think it's worth. You are in the right place. Just know that it's tough, but it's worth. I mean, keep trying, and if you have the right attitude, and especially if you are honest with yourself, this is what is very important, to be honest with yourself, and you put it, the hard work and the right passion, is possible. I mean, it's possible. When you see that 95% of people failing, I think it's because they gave up. So don't give up. Keep trying, and don't do stupid things, and manage your risk, but keep investing on yourself.
Well said, brother. All right, thanks, guys.